Remote, do it at your own peril. In an industry full of conformism marketed as the opposite, he is a true individual, a man unafraid to be himself. Please make him welcome, Mr. Dave Grohl. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank
You often refer to yourself as the luckiest man alive because of what you do for a living.
you. Yeah.
When you play music, what does it do to you?
Well, ever since I was young, I've been obsessed with music. To me, it's like a puzzle. It's like a Rubik's cube, you know. Even if I were sitting here talking to you and there was music in the background, I'd kind of pretend to listen to you. But I'd be focused on, like, oh, I bet that's an 18-inch kick drum, and that's kind of an interesting drum loop that they have going. And it's just it's a part of my mind that borders on having an obsessive-compulsive disorder. Music, at some point in my life, became like my religion. Like, I looked at it as something that was more than just a vinyl disc or more than a poster on the wall. It was something that opened me up and made me believe in other things, made me believe in a world outside of my own. And so I get to do that every day.
You lucky bastard. And what do you hope it does to other people?
The same thing.
Yeah?
I mean, the reason why I'm so in love with music is because I grew up listening to music that was important, music that was meant to inspire, or music that was meant to heal, or, you know. And I hope that kids today still feel the same way.
We're going to show a clip of your latest single. This is from your a double album.
Yeah.
In your honour. This is the Foo Fighters. That's The Best of You, which is actually one of the ballads on the album.
Kind of.
What? Because you're really into volume too. What is it about sheer volume that works?
It's just sometimes turning up to 10 and then screaming your balls off is cathartic. You know, there's something about it's almost like that. It's like primal scream therapy. You know, if you've written a song about something you truly feel passionate about, sometimes it just makes you scream.
I want to see the punk ethic go into a symphony orchestra. I want to see a symphony orchestra play and then smash their instruments.
Those things are expensive, man.
You smashed so many in Nirvana.
Yeah, drums and guitars, those things are those are made of plastic.
Yeah. One of the things I really love about the Foos, which sets you apart from so many other bands, is your clips are funny. For those that haven't seen them, here's Big Me. So many bands take themselves seriously. Why don't you guys?
Well, actually the Big Me video, the one that's the parody of the Mentos commercial, that was the first video that we'd made that was, it was like a parody of a music video. We did that here, actually, in Australia. We filmed that down here. There's something that bothers me about musicians that rely on image in order to sell their music. That's never really been a part of what we do. You know, we're just kind of focused on the music, and as you can see, we're not really concerned with looking handsome or you know, like a rock band.
Yeah.
So the idea of we were like making fun of making videos. In some ways, it's a necessary evil, but after doing that, the Big Me video, we realized, man, we could do this, you know? We could take the piss out of ourselves. And it's funny.
You go further, though. Your backstage rider is interesting reading, too, because...
Where'd you get that?
You demand air conditioning and heating, quote, as is customary in modern times. And you will not share your dressing room with anyone unless there's Supergrass, Oasis, or maybe Led Zeppelin.
Maybe.
What is it about rock and roll wankery that amuses you?
Because it's such a circus. It's so ridiculous. Everything that goes along with being in a band that at our level is it's just funny. When I started playing music, I played in little neighborhood bands when I was 13 or 14. But then I discovered punk rock, and I got really into punk rock, and I just played hardcore punk rock, and there was no way that there was no career ambition, you know, because there was no way that you could sell more than 17 of these noisy little records that you'd made. So still to this day, like, everything that I do is kind of rooted in that. I mean, I just love playing music, and I feel like the luckiest person alive that I can sit out here and talk about myself to a network television show. It's sort of strange to me. So the circus that surrounds it is just, it's just funny. It's surreal.
Who's your idea of circus? What's an act you look at and go, oh, never let me be that?
A musician?
Yeah.
Well, there are times when I look at Mick Jagger and I think, dude, God, just retire. But at the same time, I can understand why he's still there. Because I'm sure it's for the love of making music.
Yeah.
You know? I don't want that to happen to me. I hope that at some point I'll either, I don't know, break both legs and not be able to crawl to the stage, or lose my love of music. I'd rather just make music and share it with people than, you know, worry about what kind of peanut butter someone got me on the rider and have a diva tantrum over, you know, the wrong pair of socks.
Though you do have in your rider
Socks.
and 4 clean pairs of boxer shorts.
And they better be the goddamn right boxer shorts, or there's no show.
Just how heavily do you rock? How much pressure does this put on your undergarments?
So much, yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
You mentioned...
Thanks for not calling them diapers, by the way.
That's all right. You know, the only other guy that asked for boxer shorts in his rider is Moby.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I can feel retirement coming
that.
on.
Thanks. Yeah.
You mentioned when you were 16 you got into punk rock. Like,
Yeah.
your mum worked 3 jobs. She worked really hard. Your dad
did, yeah.
was a Republican speechwriter.
Yeah.
How did they take to you looking out for pot everywhere and joining punk bands?
Well, both of them were musicians as well. My mother, when she was young, she sang in vocal groups in the 50s. And my father was a classically trained flautist, and he played in orchestras when he was young. There's like the child prodigy flute guy. And so they both had a great appreciation of music. But when I dropped out of school to play music, I mean, you know, their parents, there was resistance. I think they believed in my love of music, and they had faith that I could probably do something good.
Could they hear it, though?
Not at that time, because it just sounded like, you know, I mean, it wasn't like I was writing an acoustic album. It was, you know, it was a lot noisier. But
you didn't use acoustic drums?
Well, that's different, man. It's a whole other thing. But I think if I were to have a child, and my child pulled a stunt like I did when I was 17 or 18 years old and split school to go jump in a van with 4 other guys and tour Europe and sleep on people's floors and you know, $7 a day per diem, and that doesn't go far. And if I were to have a child that did the same thing, I'd be concerned as well, because 99 times out of 100 it doesn't pay off. You know, it doesn't. I really feel like I won the lottery, man. I got to go out and do what I love to do. It's ridiculous to keep saying it, but it's absolutely true.
I'm starting to really resent you for it, too.
I'm sorry. But I mean, you know, it's that kind of thing where when people ask me about, God, you must be exhausted. You guys work so hard. I'm like, you know what working is? I used to work in a furniture warehouse. That seems like work to me. Coming here and talking to you on a television show, that's like, that didn't work. I might not have slept last night, but shit, this is great.
You mentioned your mum before. You, during Nirvana's days, and even now, you often take her on tour.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I'm the guy with the cool mom. I got the cool mom, so we can go out and play a festival, and after we're done playing, I'll come back to the dressing room and